The journey of self-discovery really does take on a lot of forms, doesn't it? From reading amazing authors who can support you in learning and gaining perspective to coaching, perhaps, and different conversations mixed with always a healthy dose of introspection and reflection, because the commitment to defining who we really are is actually pretty intentional. It is actually very intentional, and it does take some work. There is those who have that fixed mindset that say, guess what? This is just who I am, and it is the way I am. Whereas those like you watching or listening to this particular podcast have a growth mindset. And you might be saying, okay, let me look closer at who I'm being, and then ask yourself the really important question, which is, am I being my most authentic self, or am I actually operating on some old belief system, or I'm just not willing to show up for who I really am because it feels too risky? And, a quick hint to the answer to that question is that, yes, you are, in fact, hiding out a little bit, because we all are. And then we have to add to that question is, am I living my core or true values, or am I living a set of values that actually don't even belong to me? It's my parents, it's my peers, it's my grandparents. But the point is that the journey of self-discovery really is a lifelong commitment to being your greatest and most authentic self. In its essence, authenticity is a word we often hear, and we might even use it, but we don't necessarily take the time to fully grasp what we're saying. So let's take a look at what it means to be authentic so that we can actually be on the same page for this particular conversation. Let's look at the meaning of the word based on Google search. Now, by definition, authenticity is the state of being true to oneself by aligning our actions, our beliefs, and our values with our core identity. It's actually about stripping away the layers of societal expectation and that front-facing persona that we all have, and finding actually the courage to embrace who we truly are. And let's be clear, living authentically is not and can't be just a buzzword. It's actually a fundamental aspect of our well-being, of both our mental and emotional health. And I'm even going to ask you to consider that it could be part of your physical health. I believe, and I've actually got evidence in my world, that our emotional and mental health is directly connected to our physical health. And I won't go off on a rabbit hole, but we'll get to that later. We'll talk about that maybe another time. When we live authentically, we experience self-acceptance, we experience fulfillment, significance, and we actually have genuine connection with other people. It actually lays the foundation for a purpose-driven life. When Stephanie and I launched our SHIFT program, for example, setting honest intentions for transformation, or our recent RAIN initiative of the Entrepreneur's Edge, these were at their very core the quest by our clients for self-discovery, to be able to discover who they are, and then to build their businesses, their careers, and ultimately their lives based on them being their most authentic self. Because here's the thing, in a world filled with external influences and societal pressures, it's just really easy to lose touch with our true selves. And that really is why the journey of self-discovery becomes so essential. It's actually an opportunity to reconnect and, in many cases, actually define or even discover our authentic essence, and then explore who we are at our very core. Here's the thing, self-discovery begins with introspection. And like I said earlier, it actually takes a commitment. It takes intentional work. But by engaging in practices such as journaling, meditation, and even self-reflection, which Stephanie and I have talked about extensively many times, we can actually foster that self-awareness and uncover our truest desires, or at least start to tell the truth about them, and then connect to our core values. Are we, in fact, connected to our core values? And, in these journeys, it's always about peeling back the layers and then uncovering and revealing the real depths of our identity.